Thanks for staying with us. So this morning, we want to analyze the president's speech on Independence Day. So last Friday, our president, Independence Day broadcast, the president said specifically that no government since 1999 has done what they have done in 6 years to put Nigeria back on track. Now, this speech obviously generated mixed reactions across board. Now, the question is, do you agree with the president? Tell us why. If you do, if you disagree, tell us why. I would like to hear from Nigerians this morning on your thoughts on the scorecard of President Muhammad Buhari's administration in the last 6 years. You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also send us messages on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll be happy to read your messages. So I read the speech, and I mean, even going by the papers this morning, you know, talking about Empower, a few other interventions that have been done through agriculture. So someone say, okay, yes, technically, it seems that a lot of things have been done. But others are saying, when you talk about health, education, security, economy, these key areas, we don't really see, you know, but others have said that, okay, infrastructure, we see some development in infrastructure. Power, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Someone say we have more electricity now than back then. Yeah, so, but in your view, what do you think, how do you review his speech, number one? And do you think they have actually improved? And should we still give them time? Or we're saying, you know what, they don't even know what they're doing?
Okay, I personally believe that you can define your own success. You can say, I am successful as a single person, based on your own statistics, and you have a right to say, okay, I've done this, I've done that, Tomio, I am successful. Nima can choose to disagree with me, but it's my own standard because I'm not working for anybody. But when you're working for the public, if you're working in an organization as the boss, the MD, the CEO, you cannot by yourself define your success and say, I've done this, I've done that, I am very successful. You cannot compare. That would be lying to yourself. It is the people that you are serving that will tell you that this and this is how your policies have affected us, and our lives are better than when you came. It is not for you to say. And when it comes to public service, we work with statistics, not about all the programs that you have done, but everything collectively. So, for instance, I went online to get some statistics, and some of these platforms that analyze data compared our gross domestic product from the time of Obasanjo, and they said Obasanjo averagely did 6.95%. Yaradua did 7.98%. So in my head, I was expecting from, okay, somebody started with 6.95, another person 7.98, we should be going higher. Jonathan came and did 4.80%. averagely percent, and Buhari has given us 0.31%. So when you look at all the programs that they have done, it seems like the president has, like the current administration, has more projects, but the impact, the overall impact, the standard of living has fallen down even more. That means that you have been very busy with activities that have not even paid your people. So you should take a look back and what are we doing wrong in statistics that is making the people not get the benefits of everything that we are pumping in? That's the question you should be asking your people right now. I'm not telling us you are successful because you did several projects.
Okay, Mariam, your thoughts on this?
I've got some data of my own as well. And the 6.9 in 2011 GDP growth rates is one of them. But also, we're talking of a country as of today where 100 million people live, Nigerians are living in poverty. We're talking of our total debt stock of now 33 trillion naira. Inflation, what are we talking about? And then, you know, those are just numbers. Then let's, as you said, let's talk about what people are saying on the streets. How are people, you know, reacting to things that are happening around them? Constantly now, it has become regular everyday conversation with people to hear things are tough. Prices have gone up. Constantly here at this table, we're talking every day about cooking gas going up, prices of cooking gas going up, food going up. So that is the actual picture. That's the reality we have on ground. Comparing himself with past governments, I have a personal philosophy, which is, you know, I compare myself with what I've done before. Have I improved on what I've done before? So for this government, it will be, what were the things that you said you were going to work on, and how have you fared when it comes to that? You mentioned economy, insecurity, and what's the third one? You know, and almost on all that level, we have seen us struggling insecurity. We have children. Yes, corruption, the third one. We are, this Nigeria as of today, we have children in captivity.
Yeah, till today.
Schools are closed in the north because of insecurity. Farmers cannot go to the farm because of insecurity. So that is the reality on ground. And so for that, just for that, I think that talking about doing better than his predecessors should not even come up right now.
So, Nima, your thoughts on this? I give you more data because I have a bit more data.
Okay, let me not use data.
Yeah.
The president gave us a proper list of things that every day are announced by the government. I think they just took an inventory of all their programs that they planned, but without comparing the impact in society. And it will seem like, because they're quick to respond, it will seem like you just hate the president when you sit here and you're telling the president that these things are not really reflective. The National Homegrown School Feeding Program has been criticized for corruption. Do we have anybody jailed?
Till today.
We had the Safe Schools Initiative program where we had, it was an SSG, the predecessor to the boss Mustafa, I think, who was indicted in an allegation of about some grass-cutting scandal. Do we have proper investigations? Yeah. And this is a government that you say your fighting corruption was your main goal. You were supposed to make examples of your closest ally. But now we have the FIRO, that's the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, former boss. And that's the only example that we have. Of course, I want that person prosecuted for what he did. But we have several important that we know would have made.
Remember, Mina ran away, came back.
Police is still where it is.
Guy.
So the problem for me is you have these laudable plans. When you sit at the FEC meeting, somebody's just reading report. In my own ministry, everybody's just reading report of what have you gone around town to test? When the MD, acting MD came here on Friday, when we interviewed him, he said something. He said, I have taken bikes to all the communities that you have in Apapa. And even I living in Apapa could not deny when he was giving me areas and numbers and everything. You know he has a knowledge of the area. That's what we want the president to test. Yeah. We know you are not too healthy, you are old. But after getting the regular reports from the people around you...
You have people on ground you go to and verify.
You have people that you can trust, people that are unknown, that are not important. Unknown people that you can go and say, okay, you are not an important big man name, but how do you see my work?
So, I mean, according to StarTimes, which is a statistics data analysis platform, they also gathered that in the agricultural sector, this government have grown 15% in the past 5 years. And in comparison to other administrations, so according to them, in Obasanjo's administration, it grew about 133%. In Yar'Adua, it was 19%. In Jonathan's time, it was 22%. So they do agree that there were a lot of investment within the agricultural sector, absolutely. But however, the effect and impact of it is yet to be felt amongst the people. So it's one thing to have the paper knowledge or the paper data, or okay, this is what we are doing, we've done this, and we expect this result. Now, have you measured the results? That's what Nigerians are saying this morning.
So this is the family head who takes loan to buy this mug. And hopefully the need for this mug will no longer generate loan. But you did not buy a mug that is durable. You went to buy glass. And then one person now bumps it and excuses score. But we're still going to pay the money that we used to borrow buy the mug in the first place. That's the most simple, basic example of how this government runs. So we have those laudable projects that loans have grown up to how many thousand? We use our entire revenue, 98-point-something% of our entire revenue to service the debts that we're using for all these laudable projects. But generations to come, how would they feel under the weight of these loans when they are paying back? Are we thinking of that? And now the CBN just today puts it under the list. You would know that, of course, they make plans without taking holistic view of how things are. How many farmers can approach farm
right now?
You are talking about 2 billion naira intervention that you are going to be saving. This 2 billion, if you have it, we convert it to Nigeria farms. How safe is it to go to farm? Because I'm in the rice sector and I know every month rice increases. Sometimes you're selling at a loss because the prices keep changing and increasing in the market. And the factors are not beyond security.
But there's a saying that we have to suffer a little.
We don't suffer before we can.
No, I mean, according to what I mean, I don't know the saying right now, but the idea is that this is time for us to. They told us already when they came in that you have to tighten your belt. So they know that these times are going to be difficult decisions. There will be some policies that we will have to painstakingly go through. But the assurance from this administration is that we're selling, we're investing the pain now, so that at the end of the day we can reap the benefits. So is that, would you say that's what we're going through right now, that we should continue to bear it?
If we were all tightening our belts, it would be easier to bear. If the head of the house says, we're going to tighten our belts, so we'll eat head of fish instead of chicken for a few months. Let's see what we can. Let's gather money to be able to buy some blocks so that we'll stop paying this rent we've been paying since. And he's not eating the chicken or turkey. Then the children will be able, and the other members of family will be able to say, okay, we are all tightening our belts. But it seems like it's just the poor people that are supposed to do this sacrifice. Exactly. I wanted to go there. Healthcare is, you can go abroad. Education, all of them are celebrating their children graduating from this university in the UK, that university in the US, and strike. We're still begging ASU. We're still negotiating with ASU. The poor man's child is still likely to be sitting at home anytime soon. What about the National Association of Resident Doctors? We still have that one there. So it's not for you to, say it and feel. I just feel that this is not the time to be comparing. And this administration started from comparison. From the first day they entered seats, they will compare this, they will compare that.
Years.
The last administration, that's Jonathan, was pushed out of office because he could not solve the insecurity problem. Today, the Global Terrorism Index has ranked Nigeria as the third worst nation prone to terrorism with no improvement since 2017. This is not the time to be raising chest and be saying, I've done this, I've done that. We, as a people, need to feel the impact of what you have done. Then we can talk for you.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. But we'd ask, who exactly is Nigeria's best president? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the president's speech on Friday. I mean, in the part of young people, he was saying that young people are our most valuable natural resource at home and abroad. Their ingenuity, creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit is evident to all. Many of our young people are excelling in various spheres of life, including sports, entertainment, information, communication. And I'm thinking, oh God, what have you done to exactly support these people? Because, I mean, as you said, Nigerians are doing great things home and abroad. Individually. They have struggled and hustled to get to where they are. But the question is, there's a lot of rhetoric around what can be done, what we're going to do to support them. But it's not specific on what has been done and how we can actually benefit from the resources available in the country. So young people are confused on how do I tap into the, okay, they say we should go to agriculture. Which part of the agriculture? Am I going to go to the farm? Are we giving them? Many also have taken these opportunities, have taken advantage of it, let's be fair.
Yeah, true.
Many young people have taken advantage of the opportunities where they will take the money. Instead of them to use it for what it's supposed to do, they go and spend it.
Else, yeah.
No, we've had a lot of irresponsible on both sides.
Yes.
So we must also acknowledge that the government have actually made some effort.
Yes.
We also on our part are not
It's
the ones
effort. All the things we reeled out now is effort now.
Yeah, so let me read.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Let me read John Ibino says, insecurity is zero, yes. But corruption, let's not forget that judiciary is separate from executives. You see, earlier in his administration, he tried to arrest those judges that were corrupt. They jailed some people, but we see how lawyers use technicalities to sort themselves out. And he gave example of Ojikanu. Yes, economy is very poor. Monetary policy rate is high, so cost of borrowing is very high, and partly because inflation is high. But comparing the economy of Obasanjo, Jonathan cannot be fair. Obasanjo, Jonathan, Yar'Adua enjoyed oil boom. Note, when they came into office, they immediately went into recession due to the looting of the last treasury. Then also there was COVID. Insecurity has doubled the inflation. Farmers cannot go to farm. My take, let the Ministry of Finance tackle some of these issues or CBN address the level of inflation.
Okay, so that's a fair,
fair
account of
but
it.
then, we've never been more divided, in my view, as we are now. We have more calls for agitations, even though they see them as maybe sponsored or whatever. But if you test the pulse around town, people are constantly talking my side, your side, and all of that. Those of us who believe in the one Nigeria are even looked at as strange.
Yes.
And it's not far from the kinds of appointments and nepotism within employment that people see is glaring in your face. When they called out the president for the appointments within his service chiefs and all of that, what he said was that he would not do ethnic appointments over merit. But then, or that he will not take a person across to jump positions when there are seniors in cadre. But we saw that happen within the military. The things that you say with one side of the mouth are countered by your next action constantly. Within parastatals, it's not about merit. Every parastatal is on one side of ethnicity, and it's because you're there.
Let me take this call from Shola. Shola, are you there from Ikorodu?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning to everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. You see, if I'm going to rate president so far in this country, honestly, I'm going to rate Buhari. Buhari is the best president we have ever had in this country. But there are so many challenges Buhari is facing with. Number one, the challenge of corruption. There are so many corrupt people in this country that is not allowing Buhari to have his way. He's facing with corruption, and corruption is fighting back. You know, Muriah said something. She said, without pain, there is no gain. I agree with that. And the Bible says, it said, when the foundation is destroyed, it said, what can the righteous do? The foundation of this country is faulty. And that is what Buhari, the challenges is facing in this country. If Mariam just read out something on the phone right now, I agree with what that person said on that phone. I agree with everything he has said. The Buhari was not given chance by all the corrupt leaders, all the corrupt people in this country to have his way. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shola.
Okay, so I hear this conversation. Okay. So I hear this conversation constantly, and we've heard it about every president while in power. So every president while in power is always worse than his predecessor, and he's always better than his successor. That's what I've always noticed when we talk about our presidents. But one thing I hear concerning each and everyone is, oh, they were surrounded by a cabal, they were surrounded by corrupt people, they were surrounded, but you are the head of government, you know. You are the head, the message I just read is talking about CBN, the Ministry of Finance. Who is the person in charge of getting the Minister of Finance and setting up that cabinet? It is the president. The thing is that in the end, the buck stops at his table. That's the truth. And until, you know, we always ask for a particular type of leader, a leader that from his actions and from his behavior and from his words shows a certain way that he's leaning towards. And not only in the words, but the action is that when someone falters, it's either that person is made to resign quickly or punished, you know, openly. But when none of that is done, then in the end, it's all your fault as well.
To add to that, we saw that when the vice president was holding up forth for our president when he went for another time.
Yes.
Was it how many months he was around for? And we saw, even though there was not much change economically,
we felt
but his posture, the way he was making sure that once he gets a report, he works on it.
He made a few changes.
Deliberate actions.
Deliberate actions. He did certain moves.
Remember when he asked for the resignation?
With the DSS removal, the DSS head removal that he did. And the president came back and reversed everything to reflect ethnicity. Again. I'm saying it boldly here. He reversed it to reflect ethnicity. You could not even stay or continue certain things because it had been already done. But you had to reverse it until the favors set. There's too much party in this government. Let's say it as it is. Okay, now, Abba carries extradition order from a court in America. The least you do is send him to go and clear his name. He gets his own lawyers, he goes there, he defends himself successfully, he gets an acquittal, and he comes back a free man here. But what does he do? He put up a panel. The AG is looking into the matter. Everybody is doing, we are doing review, we are protecting, we are doing review. But there's too much party. Okay, if I have something now, do I go to the president? Do I have people along corridors, oh yeah, help me, cover, get it.
Right. Let me take this call, Yinka.
And you're saying you're fighting corruption.
Yinka, are you there? Thanks for calling. You're live.
I'm here.
Go ahead, you're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me start from the Abba Kyari issue that your guest is talking about. One of you is talking about that. Please, for God's sake, the people within the government in Nigeria know the best to do about this issue. We're just sidelining, talking our own views. Please, leave it in the corridor of power. Let them do the needful with the American government. Please, for Christ's sake. Now let's go to your question about who is the best president we had from 1999. As this the same time, to me, let me show the line of the two people that have spoken, one online, the other one that you read through. To be honest with you, people are shouting in Nigeria that Buhari government is borrowing money. Tell me, where is the money that the Buhari government wanted to use to do all these laudable projects? PDP has thrown everything away. Look at Alison Madueke. Now she's being given an asylum. Look at the amount of money. She's now preparing to buy an island to herself. Your former petroleum minister, and nobody talks about that. And where do you want this government to get the money to do it? And let me tell you, if we have a problem of saying that there are some people that are sponsoring the mayhem of what is going on in Nigeria, it is so. But the government, because of their secrecy, they cannot let loose the information to the public. And you cannot condemn them for that.
Thank you very much. That's another perspective. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing our president's speech and comparing him to other administration. Our last two callers, interestingly, supported the government and saying that, listen, where would these people get the money from, especially because the previous administration practically stole most of our money. But, if we think about the power sector, for example, we cannot deny, I don't know about your house or your household, but I know in my own house, power has increased and is better than it was back then. I know I use more power now, and it's more stable. At least in a day, I have at least 20 hours minimum.
Wow.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
No my own house. 20
You
hours.
increase your own tariff.
Of course, they've increased our tariff. You pay now. You pay.
No, you're paying.
Yes, I'm paying. That's the idea. You have to pay. There's no way in the world you won't pay for power.
No, but we are not complaining about paying. Where the government get money from? We had 77 oil firms. We took the story, owing federal government $6.something billion. We did not do everything. And this is the government's sixth year, running 2 more years before they're done, less than 2 years before they're done. And nothing was done to recover that amount. But he mentioned days and his loot. All these monies have been forfeited fully to the federal government. He reached out to the 212. We're owing, oil firms are owing us. We're doing per day. We think you come on for this one. AMCON has the ability to recover looted funds. How many have we recovered?
Help the economy.
Was taking time. There's still corruption. That's I voted this government first time, second term. I believed in Buhari's dream for this country. I love this personality. And when he talks, I listen. So I'm relying on what he said. His promises is what I am relying on. How do I feel today? I don't feel happy. I don't feel that confident in his government. If you say you're working on power, we're paying the tariff. So you've done that. Yes, I took the train. You're doing well. But the loans that we're owing, only the federal government is owing 29.something trillion naira. Only that of the federal government. I've not talked about that of the states. And you're running the government like that, and everybody's saying, is it about the project that you see or the holistic view of everything? All right, there's hardship. Do we want to talk about the dollars? Under this government, the present CBN government continue to bring policies in that seem to be favoring the other countries as against our naira. Things are tough. You go to the market, what is the value of presently? Constantly, under their watch, it kept growing, and now it's almost 600 naira to $1 now. And we want to say, no, you're the best government. You're not considering you can't sit down and on book and paper, on theories, say that you have done well. Right.
Okay, let me take this call and come to BC. I think I have a call. Yakub, are you there?
Yeah,
you're live.
I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
I think, for me, I'm the one of the supporter of this government. Okay. And then people listening to me this morning will likely thinking, what do I need to say? Well, yes, I support this government. I voted for this government twice, as Sister Anima said. You see, they have done a lot of things. But the reality on the street is that it does not show. It does not tell us that what they are doing is telling us in our family. Why am I saying that? Molayo, what I disagree with this government is this. And then I know every one of us in that studio knows this. The government keeps telling us that they know who the sponsoring of Boko Haram are. And then they will mention their name, they will take them to court, they will prosecute seen them? Yes, we have not seen none. This morning, Morayo, the government says that there's a middleman that made food production to cost in the market. They bought it and they hold the food. Who are those people? You continue not to mention it to Nigerian citizens. You continue not to let us know who these people are. Yes, some of the ministers in this government are doing well, especially the former governor of Lagos State, in person of Babajide Raji Fashola. He has done a lot of things. For example, look at the Niger Bridge, look at the Ibadan Expressway. Even though the Ogun State to Lagos State Expressway is still so bad, so they said that if you go to that party, I pray that your car will come back alive. So, but I would say that the government should let us know, apart from this, the insecurity in the north. If the insecurity in the north makes the scarcity of the food, and then this Boko Haram of the thing, we are bought to Kano, we are bought that. See, the bandits keeping increasing. What are we doing?
Oh, lost that. But thank you, Yakub. I think we got the gist of it. Yes.
So I know that uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Everybody understands that. But if you're seeking for a job, you should have capacity to be able to do the job. And a true leader does not blame people, takes responsibility for everything. So were you expecting that they would have kept money for you? It's a country where, according to you, they have come, they have looted and everything. You will come, sit down and work with what you have. You won't keep referring us to, well, I did not meet money in the account, I did not meet this one, I did not meet that one. That is not how to pull a country together and have... The first thing is, do you even have a vision of where you want to take this country to? In that your vision, what aspects do you want to focus on? It's not enough to do everything, touch here, and we're not seeing results. Unfortunately for us, we're in a country where we celebrate effort more than results. You get a mechanic to fix your car, and then he struggles all day blindly, and then he comes back and says, I could not fix it, but you go pay me something. Pay you something for what? We are asking questions now. What is the result when we look at it holistically that we have gotten? We have seen the efforts in different, we can, of course, nobody will like this.
Let me play
the efforts. But holistically, what is the result that we have gotten?
Let me play the devil's advocate.
Have we gone backwards or we have gone forward, considering the population that we now have?
I hear you. Let me play the devil's advocate a bit, because the president is still employing Nigerians. We all have that inherent desire to just destroy things. All of us in Nigeria, we're not fixing our country. Let's be true to ourselves. Each and every one of us have things we're doing to contribute to where we are, to the corruption that we're in. So they want to fight corruption from from the center. But all of us across has become an endemic. Yeah. So the point is, he can't do it alone. So if the president says, I want to fight corruption, and all of us are not in agreement with this, he's not going to go far. So where do we begin to take responsibility of what we have done as a people?
But the sincerity, Mariah, the sincerity in his fighting corruption will help us begin to sit up. So not because I know you, I'll do something, you now turn a blind eye. Somebody else who is not close to you will do the same thing and you prosecute the person. People are seeing. Everybody's watching. The world is watching. So if you say I am fighting corruption, even if the person is from my tribe, this person commits this crime, you people will see the person being prosecuted openly. Every other person will sit up. Right. It starts from the head.
Right.
Okay.
Mariam, go ahead.
So you're right, and we've said it many times here about how the responsibility of making sure this country works rests on all of us, our leaders and all of us, the citizens. And you're right, in many ways, in little ways, we have shown that we are just as corrupt as our leaders. And you know, I say it all the time, the leaders come from Nigeria. They were doing the things that we are already doing, and when they went and became leaders, they just continued that behavior. So, but now we're talking about a president who has said, I have done better than the others. So that's why we're talking about this. This is not to castigate or criticize. In fact, one of the positives, as I read today in the paper, is that this administration has consistently, brought the budget for the next year on time, ahead of time. So that is a positive that they can say that they have. And it's an important one, however small it may seem. It is an important one where we would wait years after coming up with supplementary budget and things like that, which does not make sense. So in those little things, it is important, they have done something positive. But honestly, generally, with the way things are looking in our country, things are not working at all.
Let me pause you, Mariam. I'll come back to you, Mariam. Let me take Salah. He's been holding for a while. I'll come back to you. Salah, are you there? From Abuja. Yeah. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay.
government has actually done very well. But the problem is not with the people that are governing us, but rather with as brilliant as on the table. How many of you of any political party? How well are you important?
Oh, the line is cutting. The line is not very clear, Mr. Absalo. It's so hard. I really, because you've been holding for a while. Well, let me let you respond to him. He said that we haven't joined any political parties.
Yeah. But that's what we're saying. We're saying that we have a crop of Nigerians where we are social media warriors. We know how to criticize on social media, but when it comes to being on ground, paying, voting, staying there until the votes are counted, and making sure that, we follow the whole process. We don't do that. We're sitting in our homes, we're typing away and criticizing government. I think going forward, when it comes to criticizing an administration, we should also criticize ourselves within the administration. How did we carry ourselves during that administration as well? And I think that we also need to understand that we have responsibility, rights, and power to recall a representative that we think is corrupt. We cannot, on one hand, be calling them out on social media and then go behind them, go into their offices and be asking them for stipends or more than stipends. And they'll give you contracts to do. You don't do them. Instead, you sort yourselves out with the money and then you come back on a show like this, you sit down here and you call people out. So all of us really were to blame. But I think that there's also a crop of Nigerians, younger ones, who are looking now and trying to make a better decision. Like, where do we go from here? We have thousands of young Nigerians who have registered to vote for the very first time. This year they've turned 18 and they are going to vote. So we need to teach them what is right. For those of us at this table, I'm not a politician by any chance, but I will continue to use my voice, lend my voice where it's necessary.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we take more calls and read some messages from YouTube and Facebook. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.